Stephanie and I are going to talk a little bit about working with our feet. As you know, that's one of the things that we do here at Prana Indra, that we do Ashiatsu massage and we use our feet. And well, we just wanted to have a conversation about what it's like because we get lots of questions about it. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what massage with feet is like. I think one of the things we hear, and Stephanie, you could probably attest to this, is people will say, hey, so you walk on people's backs?
I do get that a lot.
A lot. And it's not so much that that I feel like I need to correct people when they say that, but I just feel like, oh wow, they don't get it at all. Like, what we do is actually a lot more complicated than that. And massage with feet isn't just for backs. I mean, we use it on the long muscles in the legs, using arms. Actually, some of my favorite arm work is using feet. I love it on my hands and fingers. I know Stephanie, with what we do, she and I both have years of body work behind us. And, we have really overdeveloped forearms, just from all of that work. And I feel like feet just have a way of ironing that out.
Yes.
And doing an incredible stretch.
I was just going to say that. I love that. It feels like I'm getting ironed out in the forearms and in a lot of other areas of the body when getting massaged by the feet. And you can even massage feet with feet.
Which I think is great. It's probably not my favorite. I think I still prefer hands to feet. To be honest, if I'm going to be really honest.
Yeah. But it's just a can do.
It is a can do. But I feel like that's one of the few places where I prefer hands than feet. So, I was going to just kind of share too, as you know, with body work, massage therapists can use their fingers, they can use their knuckles. Sometimes I'll use this flat area between first and second knuckle to get a nice, rigid, deep tissue pressure with my fist. Occasionally, not occasionally, very often, I use my elbow. But what's kind of neat about Ashiatsu, or with the foot, is that I feel like a lot of similar tools are all present in the foot. Like, it's really easy to have your whole foot on somebody and just slide it down the back and get a whole wide area stretch. And have it be a little bit lighter even. That's where I feel like the foot is really good at almost mimicking hands.
Totally.
But then you can just put more weight behind it.
Totally.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
And then the foot's wider, so you can work on a wider area, which is an amazing feeling. I call it a super hand.
Yeah, more surface area on the body always feels better.
Exactly, every time. And that's one of the reasons why I say, don't break contact and keep your hands on the client as much as possible, because that's, honestly, it's the difference between an okay massage and a fabulous massage. Sometimes it's just having more contact. So you have that wide, even pressure, and almost sometimes feel like it's more even than hands, because you just don't get as much strength and weight in your fingers as you do in the heel of your palm. But the heel of your foot and the ball of your foot are really, you can move your weight in such a way that it's a lot more even along that big, wide area. Also, you have this strong, big toe that's just like a thumb, so you can still get that pointed pressure. I do it a lot on people's upper traps. I do it a lot in their legs when I feel like there's something in the calves that needs just a little bit of pointed pressure from my toe. And then you also have this big old heel, which is I feel like just like an elbow, but honestly it's bigger. Like, if you compare.
And it is not as pointed.
It's not as
so
pointed.
It feels way better when you're getting really deep in there. At least I found that when I receive it and when I'm giving a massage with my feet, I feel like the client is receiving great deep pressure, but they're not having to hold their breath or suck it in about what's happening, because there's not the bony structure of the elbow.
I think that's spot on. It's totally spot on. And I feel like, depending on deep tissue, sometimes people come in, they're like, I just want you to go as deep as you can with your elbows on me. And sometimes they'll bruise after it. And I don't always want to do that, but, sometimes clients have their own desires for what they want out of their session. I don't think that there's any reason for that. But the reason why I bring this up is I think one of the really big strengths of the kind of wide area of the heel and being able to do that same sort of deep pressure, I don't think I've had anybody bruise. I can't think of a time I've had anybody bruise from that, because it's just not pointy enough to break the blood vessels and do that.
Right.
So not only is Ashiatsu deeper, because it doesn't have to be though. I think some people think, well, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna be super intense. Often because we're only working with one foot at a time, we're really in control of the amount of pressure, and we can lighten it up. You don't need to have your practitioner's entire body weight on you.
Yeah, I think that's another factor that I love about Ashiatsu, is that it can be that deep pressure that people are desiring and maybe sometimes have a hard time getting with hands-on deep tissue, but it can also be a very relaxing experience and just a really different kind of massage for people that haven't experienced Ashiatsu before.
Well, and there are people who like deep tissue. They're like, I always feel better after, but they're like, it hurts. Why does it hurt? I often find they just don't like the pointiness of the elbow
or knuckles, or whatever it may be.
So the foot ends up being the type of tool that I feel like suggesting to these people, and also people who have like these really anterior shoulders that are just like do not want to come back, and you just put a foot there and iron it back onto the table, and I'll actually do one shoulder, and sometimes I'll, depending on how the vibe I'm getting from my client, if they feel like they want to be disturbed or not, or if they're talkative or not, and I'll be like, hey, I want you to look at your shoulders, and sometimes it's the difference of this on the table, and it's unreal, and I don't know about you, but that's one of my most satisfying moments, is getting to see people's bodies actually change in a session like that, in a big work. Yeah,
that is definitely a key factor. Often have people getting up off the table and they say things along the lines of, I feel like I've been wrung out or ironed out, or, I feel almost like a new person, or like my body is just so different feeling to me getting up off the table after Ashiatsu.
Well, I think another factor too, in how big the work is. Like I know after my first Ashiatsu session, I was floored by the amount of work that my teacher at the time, it was the woman who was teaching me Ashiatsu, or would teach me. She worked on me first, and I remember being completely floored by the amount of work you could get done in an hour. Or more, just a half hour. Yeah,
I was just about to say that. Like, even at the half hour, you can get a great lot of movement out of the body and get some good release for people that are sometimes in a lot of pain.
Absolutely. And I think it's really good for the systemic stuff, too. Like, I was talking about the shoulder being pulled forward. Like, I feel like oftentimes with postural issues like that, you can kind of dig in and get the muscles to release. But it's not just stretching the whole shoulder back.
Right.
It's not you can dig into the hamstrings in here with your elbow or your thumbs, which is really pointy. I don't know if you've had work on there with your thumb. I don't like it. In fact, I don't let anybody do that anymore.
No.
I feel like it bruises me and it doesn't get the job done. But a foot has the ability to just strengthen and almost lengthen that whole area. And I feel like it decompacts my hip joint. Yeah. Because I feel like it pulls my whole leg, my whole joint, like it's just it stretches, pardon me, that whole area. Yeah. In a way that, I mean, Steph usually works on me. Yeah. I almost never ask for anything but Ashiatsu anymore. I think you worked on my neck once with your hands, like the last, 6 months. Yeah. And the rest has been Ashiatsu. It's just become not only one of my favorite modalities to receive, but also to give, but to receive. It's in both veins for me.
Yeah, I feel very similar to that. Yeah. I really enjoy, again, just the benefits of Ashiatsu and the change, like you mentioned earlier, the change you get out of just one session, whether that's a half hour, or longer. Just sometimes you just really need that change in your body to happen, and I feel like Ashiatsu is the way to get that.
Yeah. So what's one of your favorite things? 'Cause I know you've been doing this now for a while, and what is like what is the deal maker for you? Like as far as this modality?
I really like the work we can do with our feet on the glutes and hamstrings, because that is a big area for a lot of people that I find. Glutes, hamstrings, quads. And quads are always kind of sensitive, but again, that lengthening stretch that we're able to get with the broad strokes and the broadness of the foot. And definitely, like you mentioned, the upper body, the traps, the neck, and the arms. It's tremendous. I think the work we can do in the arms with the feet and kind of gripping with the toes. Some people are just they are amazed by that alone. Like maybe they didn't realize they were holding so much tension in their arms, but to get them ironed out is great relief, and it's a great relief for me too.
Because one of the things that I've been trying to consider for this, conversation today is just all the questions that we get and all the ways that I feel like people are surprised. Excuse me. Having a little bit of allergies bothering me today, and I'm trying to move through it.
Doing great.
Just all the different misconceptions that people have are the ways that they're surprised. I've had several times now, I'll start with a session and then have somebody say, so when are you going to start with your feet?
Yeah.
Have you had that happen yet?
Not necessarily that, but they're like, so what are you doing? Like we start out seated and starting with the footwork, and then we get up on the table and move around the table from there. So I very often hear, I can't even tell really the difference between your hands or your feet.
Yeah.
Like I just don't really know what's going on.
Yeah. And that's really interesting to me.
Totally.
I find it so interesting.
Yeah.
But I think it really speaks to the fact that it's similar work. Like it's you're accomplishing some of the same goals, and sometimes goals you can't with your hands, right? Like your fingers and palms will just never be capable of putting your entire body weight.
Right. We'd have to crawl up on the table, and it'd be really awkward, and we'd be putting our body in a really awkward situation trying to emulate that or trying to force that kind of pressure where it comes so naturally with Ashiatsu because our whole weight is coming down to the table.
Yeah, I mean, to do that with our hands, we'd have to do a handstand.
Pretty much.
And this way, we can use our feet. And, I was a soccer player for so long. And so it's funny. I like to tell this story because I was a soccer player for years and years. As like a kid and a teenager. And I even played a little bit in my early 20s. And so becoming a massage therapist was like, oh, I'm using my arms now. And, after 6 years, I'm very comfortable with working with my arms. At first it was a little strange. But I remember taking, on my first day of class, I learned in Hawaii. When I was out in Hawaii and I was learning to massage with my feet, I felt like instantly a click. Like, this is for me. This makes sense. And then the modality, I felt like helped heal my body. After years of doing body work and almost, not necessarily taking care of myself in the best way. And honestly, when I started my career, I was doing 4 to 6 hours of massage a day, 5 days a week. And that, first of all, that's too much, I think. So I think, honestly, at this point, I think every therapist should learn to work with their feet because not only is it just incredible work, but it's also better for the therapist.
Totally.
I've heard you say before that you've talked on this topic.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's totally just a joy to me to be able to use my body in a different fashion to massage people. And that, it's funny because, my hands get a break, but my upper body is still doing a little work, holding on to the bars. So, I'm thankful in that I get to use kind of like almost like a workout in a way. I'm definitely keeping my body healthy by utilizing it through, giving body work to people.
I'm so there with you.
Yeah.
I think, you know, even though we're using our arms, it's in a different way.
Totally.
Because
yeah.
all day, like if we're working
We're
with our arms on
pushing
people, we're
and
pushing.
going forward, and
But then when we're doing the
yeah.
Ashiatsu, it's a pull. I think it's
Yeah.
great to balance out the arms.
Totally.
Honestly, you know, I get compliments on my arms, but I don't work them out anymore.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
funny I do, but
Yeah.
it's just my job. And it's because, you know, I don't know, it's just about balance and health of the arms too.
Yeah.
And that's going to give us longevity for working with our arms.
Yeah.
Not only were we using them just a little bit less, but we're also, you know, we're using them.
And that I think is a huge factor, the biggest key for therapists that are working out there now that are curious about Ashiatsu. I feel like it is going to be the key to their longevity in their career, to be able to have that balance of doing upper body work with people or doing Ashiatsu with people, so their bodies can continue on and not burn out.
Yeah, absolutely. And who wants to burn out? Like, this is
Yeah.
the coolest job in the world. Like,
Yeah.
why would you want to have to stop doing it?
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, in any physical profession, I kind of make jokes all the time. I say I'm like a boxer. I have I only have so many hours in the ring.
Right.
You know, and personally, I don't want to do anything else, so I'm going to make it last as long as I possibly can.
Right.
And because I not only do I have a relationship with my clients, but it's just cool to be there for people. You know, working on pregnant moms. Like, it's so fun.
Yeah.
You know, to be there and be a part of it. So
Cool.
Well, I feel like people haven't seen you yet, Stephanie.
That's okay.
You want to give me the phone and you can say hi?
All right. Okay. Hi,
Hey,
everybody.
Stephanie.
I hope your Thursday is going well, and when you get an opportunity to book yourself an appointment, that you come and meet our feet, whether that's my feet or Jenny's. It'd be a great service to your body to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for joining us this morning.
See ya.